Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is what happened in the FPC this year, kind of what the result was, and what was new this year, and what we're going to be focusing on a little bit for next year. So first, we have the different events that we ran this year. This slide probably looks familiar to some of you as what we presented on last year, but there are some new events in there that I just want to highlight. So in October, you see we added another instant decision day. I believe in December, there's another instant decision day we added on for both Alvernia and Cabrini private institutions. They were well attended. We had about a dozen to, I think Cabrini was a little on the higher end, 18 students who registered for those events. Instant decision days, if you don't know, the student comes in and meets with an admission person and they give them a decision on the spot. So it's really exciting for our students. In the past, we've done Kutztown. Kutztown was very generous with our students this year, giving us some nice scholarships for them to walk away with. So that was a great one. We're looking forward to doing that again. We also have the Pfizer field trip in October, and then you'll see another career-related field trip appearing in March. That's the Vanguard field trip. The Pfizer field trip, we had about a dozen students participate in. The Vanguard field trip, we had about 30 students participate in. Again, career-oriented, so these organizations put together a day of experiences for our students to go and see what technology careers would look like at those institutions. So really exciting for our students, really focused on what different majors would take them into those career paths, which is great because it's always nice for them to hear about new majors that they can be exploring. I think the next one that we have, how to be competitive in highly selective admission in December. That's something that we definitely plan to continue doing next year. It's an admission presentation, or I'm sorry, a presentation that we do about admission concerning schools that accept less than 30% of students. So you'll hear students talking about the Ivy Leagues or any school that we don't typically get students into very easily. We talk about what it takes to actually be admitted into those schools. That is open to 9th, 10th, and even 11th grade, even though it's a little late at that point, students to be looking at highly selective admission. So now, while that sounds very early, and it is, it's important if you're thinking about highly selective admission to know sort of what they're looking for in advance. So parents are invited to that. It focuses mostly on our gifted population, but it is open to everyone to attend. We also have in March, a couple new career-related events with Career Month. So Career Trends Night, I think, was pretty successful for its first year. We had 5 different panelists from different industries. We had one who was a career counselor at a college. We had a headhunter who was a part of this panel to talk to families about what it takes to be successful in the new job market and what companies are looking for so that when students are looking for different majors and trying to plan their futures, they have an idea of what to be looking for to make sure that they're getting the most out of their education. So a lot of great messages given there. We had about 50 people in attendance that night, small numbers, but I think really powerful, and we're going to continue on with that. The Financial Reality Fair was probably my most exciting event this year. We had essentially a large game of life in the gym, and all of our juniors came through in their history classes, and they went through and they picked, do I want to go straight into a career, 2-year degree, 4-year degree, master's program, doctoral program, and they actually were given a budget sheet that told them not only the average monthly salary for someone with that degree, but also the average monthly bills and how much gets taken out for insurance and for taxes and all these things. So they have this bottom line then that they work with, and they walk around and they visit all of these different tables, and they get to sort of build their life. They get to pick out how expensive their clothes are going to be, how often they want to go to a gym membership, if they want a pet, do they want to live at home, do they want to live in an apartment, and some of them went way over budget. So it was really exciting for them to meet with some financial advisors at the end to see that they needed to really cut back, and they really got a better feel for how much they would actually have if they got one of those careers. So I think that was a really cool event. The Pennsylvania Credit Union Association is the one who really helped us with that, so kudos to them for helping out. In April, we also have the Monco field trip. This is another new program that we did. So what we've sort of done is create a cohort of students throughout the year. So we started out by really getting all the students who are interested in Monco together to talk about, what does Monco actually look like? How much does it actually cost? There's a lot of kids who think that college just isn't in their future, so making it more approachable for them was great. And then throughout the year, they did placement testing. They had multiple meetings for orientation. And then finally, we actually went to Monco, and they got to sit down and meet with their advisors, register for classes, and get their ID pictures taken. It was a really great trip. And the students, I think, really don't have as much of a hurdle after they graduate. They know that that's already in place and they're ready to go there. So that was a really cool event that we did. This summer, we have a couple new events coming up. So we are extending our college essay workshop to the summer because some students are getting started early. So students can come in and meet with us and get some essay tips. We're also doing an added interview workshop over the summer. We found that a lot more students are interviewing for different selective scholarships and different selective colleges. So we want to offer them some tips on that over the summer in case that comes up early in the year. We're also doing Pitt and Penn State application days. So a new application trend is that colleges will be asking students to self-report. You're going to hear that a lot. So what we're going to be doing is providing unofficial transcripts to students and helping them actually do the self-reporting because it can be a little intimidating to determine how much credit they're getting for everything and what the actual titles are and how they're coded. We will also be doing Conquering the Common App again. That's a returning one. It was very successful last year. We had about 40 students attend for each session that we did last year, just going through the Common App, making sure they know what to expect. And navigating Naviance. Naviance is going through a major upgrade over the summer, so making sure that students are well prepared for that and what it's going to look like. We're going to offer some sessions for students to come in. Decision Day was very successful. I know a few of you were there this year. Our theme was Monsters University. We actually had it in the cafeteria this year. So this is a big space, but we had a big class, so we definitely filled it well. Students got to decorate. They were these little doors. So if you've seen Monsters University, Monsters Inc., they all have these scare doors. So the students got to decorate their doors based on where they're going after they graduate, whether that's career or college. They got lots of celebratory pictures with friends and families. We had Dunkin' Donuts gave us a very generous discount on donuts again this year, so we had some great snacks and some great large group photos that you can find on the website as well. Testing this year, our numbers are pretty similar to last year. You're seeing it swing back a little bit from ACTs to SATs again. SATs made a big change last year, so the numbers dropped a little bit, and ACTs definitely inflated. Now you're seeing ACTs coming back down, ACTs going back up, just because students are used to the new SAT again. PSATs, those numbers are pretty stable. Our ASVAB numbers have gone up a lot, which is exciting. I hope they keep going up. The ASVAB, a lot of times, there's this big misconception that students think the ASVAB is just for the military. It's actually an excellent test for you to determine your career aptitude. So we've had a lot more students taking it for career aptitude reasons. Processing applications, just to show you all the hard work that our school's been putting in. 331 different colleges this year that students have applied to. We sent over 2,000 transcripts. Those numbers do not include the final transcripts that we just sent today, so there's a lot more to that. And then we had about 1,700 letters of recommendation sent. You can see we have our top 5 teachers who wrote the most letters, with the top being 119 letters. They're really working hard, so a big thank you to all of our teachers for helping out with that. So just a quick look at the class of 2018. You should have in front of you our list of colleges of where students applied. You'll notice the little asterisk tells you where students have actually attended. Here is our pie chart. We have about 72% of students attending 4-year schools, 16% attending 2-year schools, 8% are going into the workforce, 2% military, and 1% are looking at a gap year for a variety of different reasons. So it's pretty much on par with last year. We didn't see too much of a change anywhere there. Just to highlight a couple things, our top 5 institutions, you have Penn State, Temple, Westchester, Pitt, and Kutztown. That's not a big surprise. They are definitely in a lot of people's budgets, and they've been pretty generous with us this year. As I mentioned, Kutztown gave out a lot of scholarships. That was great. Going the distance, we do see students going to a number of different states, really spreading out this year. We had a lot more students applying to the Midwest than we ever had before, and the South Carolina schools are very popular with us, even one student heading all the way out to Washington. So they're definitely choosing different colleges as we move on. Highly selective acceptances, we've had a lot more of those this year. Georgetown, we haven't seen anyone accepted to Georgetown in a long time. That was super exciting. UNC Chapel Hill, kids are dying to get in there. We finally got someone in this year. MIT, West Point, wow, and even a female student going to West Point, which I think is phenomenal. So definitely some great schools that I wanted to highlight there for you. Self-reported, I do want to stress that this is self-reported. Self-reported, we had that great big number up there of merit scholarships awarded to our students, and also 8 full tuition scholarships given to our students. I think that's a really nice, impressive number. So we always like to share that. And new this year, we did a couple things that we talked about last year, some ideas we had. We actually put them into action this year. Some FPC how-to videos, thanks to Andrew Rothermel. He was a huge help in this, putting together how to actually put the request in for letters of recommendation, how to match your Common App with Naviance, how to send SAT scores, how to send senior transcripts. This is all really important stuff because the students only get to meet with us for a limited amount of time. So if they forget or their parents are trying to help them, this is a great resource for them. Also, another great resource with the help of Aaron Crew. Thank you for all your support. We did put together a pretty nice Future Planning Center webpage with some great resources. Those are just some snapshots from it, so you can see all of the different folders that we have on there, or drop-down menus, along with sections for each grade level. So I think that that's been pretty successful. We've got some nice feedback about that.